Kleck's footsteps echoed in the vast, cavernous halls of the Imperial Citadel. The young officer, his skin a pale blue reflecting his anxiety, clutched a data tablet close to his chest. He had been summoned for a briefing with the First Lord and the First Prime, the highest-ranking officials of the Sarakian Empire. As a junior member of the hierarchy, Kleck rarely had direct interactions with such powerful figures. Today, however, was different. Today, he bore news of catastrophic proportions. The doors to the briefing chamber slid open with a hiss, revealing a room filled with palpable tension. The First Lord, a figure in a dark, imposing uniform, stood at the head of the table. Beside him was the First Prime, his piercing gaze fixed on Kleck as he entered. Kleck took a deep breath, trying to steady his nerves. He approached the central console and began his report. "My lords, I regret to inform you that the First Guardian Fleet has lost all contact with the Empire," Kleck began, his voice trembling slightly. "They were last reported in the vicinity of the third planet in the Sol system, known as Earth, inhabited by a species called humans." The First Lord's eyes narrowed. "Humans? They were deemed insignificant in our initial assessments." "Explain." Kleck swallowed hard. "Yes, my lord. Our initial reports categorized humans as primitive. However, upon engaging them, the First Guardian Fleet encountered unprecedented resistance. The humans exhibited extraordinary resilience and advanced warfare tactics. Our losses were substantial." The room fell silent as the gravity of Kleck's words sank in. The First Prime, his expression unreadable, leaned forward. "Define substantial." Kleck's fingers danced over the data tablet, bringing up holographic displays of battle reports and casualty lists. Out of the 50 ships in the First Guardian Fleet, only 5 managed to send distress signals before going dark. The rest are presumed destroyed or captured. A murmur of disbelief rippled through the room. The First Lord's claws tapped rhythmically on the table, a sign of his growing impatience. How could this have happened? How could a minor race inflict such damage on our fleet? Kleck took another deep breath, steeling himself. The humans employed tactics and technologies we had not anticipated. They used a combination of cyber warfare, guerrilla tactics, and superior maneuverability in space combat. Their unity and strategic coordination were remarkable. The First Prime's eyes narrowed. "Are you suggesting that we underestimated them?" Kleck nodded, feeling a cold sweat break out on his skin. "It appears so, my lord. The humans have proven to be a formidable adversary." The First Lord rose from his seat, his presence looming over the room. "This is unacceptable. We cannot allow a minor race to challenge our supremacy. We must reassess our strategies and retaliate with full force." Kleck bowed his head. "Yes, my lord. I will compile all available data on human capabilities and weaknesses for further analysis." As he left the chamber, Kleck couldn't shake the feeling of dread that had settled in his gut. The humans were not the insignificant species they had been thought to be, and now the Sarakian Empire faced a threat unlike any it had encountered before. Kleck spent the next several days immersed in data. He analyzed battle logs, intercepted communications, and reports from the few surviving ships of the First Guardian Fleet. The more he delved into the information, the more he realized how grave their miscalculation had been. The humans were not just resilient, they were ingenious and adaptable, capable of turning the tide of battle in their favor with astonishing efficiency. In the darkened command center, Kleck stood before a massive holographic display, his eyes scanning through the intricate web of human military tactics. He was joined by a cadre of intelligence officers, each tasked with unraveling the mystery of human warfare. "Look here," Kleck pointed to a section of the display, highlighting a particular skirmish. "The humans used electronic warfare to disable our targeting systems, then executed a pincer maneuver to encircle and destroy our ships. Their coordination is flawless." One of the intelligence officers, a seasoned veteran named Ra, nodded thoughtfully. "They also seem to employ decentralized command structures. Each unit operates independently but with a common strategic goal. This makes them incredibly difficult to disrupt." Kleck sighed, running a hand over his weary eyes. "We underestimated their technological advancement as well. Their weapon systems are highly efficient, and their defensive measures are more robust than we anticipated. As the officers continued to dissect the data, the door to the command center opened, and the first prime entered, his presence immediately commanding attention. "Report, Kleck. What have you discovered about these humans?" Kleck straightened, gesturing to the display. "My lord, it is clear that the humans are a far more capable adversary than we initially thought. They possess advanced technologies, including stealth capabilities and cyber warfare tools, which they have used to great effect. Their tactical acumen is also exceptional, allowing them to outmaneuver and outthink our forces." The first prime's eyes narrowed. "And what of their weaknesses?" "Every species has them." Kleck hesitated. "They are resourceful and adaptive, my lord. Their unity and morale seem to be their greatest strengths. However, their reliance on electronic systems could potentially be exploited. If we can develop countermeasures to their cyber warfare tactics, we may be able to gain an advantage." The first prime considered this for a moment, then nodded. "Very well. We will allocate additional resources to developing these countermeasures. In the meantime, we must reinforce our fleets and prepare for a potential counteroffensive." Kleck bowed. "Yes, my lord. I will continue to gather intelligence and refine our strategies." As the first prime left the command center, Kleck couldn't help but feel a sense of foreboding. The humans had proven themselves to be a formidable foe, and he knew that the Empire's underestimation of them could lead to disastrous consequences. Days turned into weeks as the Sarakian Empire scrambled to bolster its defenses and prepare for the possibility of a human counterattack. Kleck worked tirelessly, coordinating with intelligence units and military strategists to develop new tactics and technologies that could counter the human threat. Despite their best efforts, however, the sense of impending doom only grew stronger. One fateful morning, Kleck received an urgent summons to the war room. The First Lord and the First Prime were already there, their expressions grim. A massive holographic display dominated the room, showing the positions of Sarakian and human fleets across multiple star systems. "Kleck, report," the First Lord commanded. Kleck stepped forward, his heart pounding. "My lords, we have received multiple reports of human fleets mobilizing across their territories. It appears they are preparing for a large-scale offensive." The First Prime's eyes narrowed. "How many ships are we talking about?" Kleck brought up the latest intelligence estimates. "Based on our reconnaissance, we believe the humans have mobilized at least 3 major fleets, each consisting of several hundred ships. They are heavily armed and appear to be coordinating their movements towards our borders." A tense silence filled the room as the implications of Kleck's words sank in. The humans were not just defending their planet, they were preparing to take the fight to the Sarakian Empire. "We cannot afford to underestimate them again," the First Lord said, his voice shaking. "We must meet this threat head-on and crush it before it gains any more momentum." Kleck nodded. "Yes, my lord. I recommend we concentrate our forces at key strategic points and prepare for a defensive engagement. We should also deploy our newest countermeasures to neutralize their cyber warfare capabilities." The First Prime stroked his chin thoughtfully. "Agreed. We must also consider the possibility of human infiltration and sabotage. Increase security protocols across all critical installations." As the meeting continued, Kleck felt a growing sense of urgency. The humans had proven themselves to be brave and skilled warriors, and he knew that the upcoming battles would be unlike anything the Empire had faced before. The first clashes between the Sarakian and human fleets were fierce and brutal. Despite their preparations, the Sarakian forces found themselves struggling to keep up with the humans' relentless onslaught. Reports of intense space battles and ground skirmishes flooded in, each one painting a picture of a conflict spiraling out of control. Kleck spent sleepless nights in the command center, coordinating responses and analyzing battle data. The humans were not only holding their ground but also making significant advances into Sarakian territory. Their fleets moved in formations that were both impressive and terrifying. One particularly harrowing report came from the front line near the planet Draca. The human fleet had launched a surprise attack, overwhelming the Sarakian defenses and establishing a foothold on the planet's surface. Klek watched in horror as live feeds showed human soldiers deploying advanced combat drones and heavy armored tanks, cutting through Sarakian lines with ease. "We need reinforcements at Draco immediately," Klek ordered, his voice strained. "Divert the 7th Fleet and have them engage the humans from the flank. We cannot let them gain a foothold there." As the battle for Draco raged on, Klek received another urgent message. This time, it was from the Red Star Fleet, one of the Empire's most formidable armadas. The fleet had encountered a massive human offensive, and the situation was dire. Klek's heart sank as he listened to the frantic reports. The humans had launched a coordinated attack, overwhelming the Red Star Fleet's defenses and causing catastrophic losses. The fleet's commander, Admiral Zarek, sounded desperate. "We're being overrun, and they're using some kind of pincer tactics that I've never seen before. Requesting immediate backup." Klek quickly relayed the request to the First Lord and the First Prime, who were monitoring the situation closely. "We must send reinforcements to the Red Star Fleet immediately. If we lose them, our core territories will be vulnerable." The First Lord nodded with disbelief. "Agreed. Dispatch the 9th and 12th Fleets to support Admiral Zarek. We cannot afford to lose this battle." Despite their best efforts, the Sarakian Empire found itself on the defensive, struggling to repel the human offensive. The humans' strategic prowess and advanced technologies had given them the upper hand, and the Empire was reeling from the onslaught. Klek stood in the war room, staring at the holographic display. The battle lines had shifted dramatically, with human fleets pushing deep into Sarakian territory. The situation was dire, and the Empire's once unquestioned dominance was now in jeopardy. The First Lord and the First Prime were deep in discussion, their voices tense. Klek knew that they were running out of options. The humans had proven themselves to be a formidable adversary, and the Empire's underestimation of them had led to devastating consequences. As the discussions continued, a new report came in. The humans had launched a massive assault on the Sarakian homeworld, their fleets converging on the planet with unprecedented force. The Empire's defenses were buckling under the pressure, and the situation was rapidly becoming untenable. Klek felt a chill run down his spine. The humans had turned the tide of the war, and now they were on the offensive, threatening the very heart of the Sarakian Empire. "We have to maintain the line at all costs," the First Lord said, his voice terrified. "The fate of the Empire depends on it." Klek nodded, feeling a sense of duty to his home despite the overwhelming odds. The humans had shown themselves to be a very strong opponent, but the Empire would not give up easily. As the final battle loomed on the horizon, Klek knew that the outcome of this battle would determine the future of one species.